So Black Mountainside by Led Zeppelin. This is from their debut album in 1969. This was inspired by Bert Jansch again. Bert Jansch had put it out on his Jack Orion album in 1966. And an interesting story about this is that Al Stewart, the Year of the Cat guy, was either toured with Bert Jansch or played some gigs with him. Anyways, he had heard him play, and he had learned how to play what Bert Jansch at the time was calling Black Waterside. It was his version of an Irish traditional folk song called Down by Black Waterside. And as it turns out, Jimmy Page was a studio guitar player on Al Stewart's album at some point, and Al Stewart taught Black Waterside to Jimmy Page. Okay, so kind of an interesting story of how it came to be on a Led Zeppelin album. Now, Bert Jansch played it in drop D, and Jimmy plays it in dadgad. I'll put the tuning down here, but only it's dadgad down a half step. All right, so let's get going on this. We've got about 3 or 4 different sections and a whole bunch of variations. The first section is going to start like this. And that is the main part of the song. It's played a lot. We're going to pinch the G and the E strings. And it's all hybrid picked, right? So we're going to use our pick on the lower strings and our middle finger, or sometimes both our third and our second finger on the higher strings. So we're going to hammer on and pull off G2. And I really want to keep that E string ringing when I do that. All right. Now you could go. And I think sometimes he's doing that. But for me, that came the most natural. And then we're going to go first finger A2, second finger B2. So for me, I really want to keep that high E ringing. And then we're going to hit E3 and then open G. And you can hit open G with your middle finger. Like that there is, it's a pinch. It's your pick on the low string, your middle finger on the high string. That's basically the pattern, except it's G string the first time, B string the second, third, and fourth times, and then E string. Before you even go any farther, you should just practice that like a lot until you get it under your fingers. So let's do that whole beginning. And there's one section, the third time you play the open E, where he'll throw in the open G, like that. So when we hit that low E, we're also going to hit the open G. And that's thrown in a couple of times here and there. Now we're going to head into the next section, and we're going to start with 2 in the low E. We've got 4th fret A and 2nd fret E. We'll open first. And sliding up to this, 5A and 4E. And we're going to bounce off the E string there. And that last one, we're going to put our little finger on E5, and slide up again, the A and the E, and then hit E4. And then hit the low E. And then we hit the open G. And then we pinch the open B and E4, E2, low E, and then we're going to pinch G and E and go down, open G, D4, D2, open D. All right? And then we're going to hit open B and open E. And this is, where the timing is really quite tricky to get. You might have to go over this quite a bit before you get it in the pocket. So that section up to speed then. All right, now we're going to come into this, slide into A3, and we're going to get the G with our middle finger and the B string with our third finger. Slide and the two fingers. And then we're right back into the lick. So we sort of skip a beat there. And that first time is we want to hit that open B right there, right? And we do this again when you hit the open E. So the first time would be an open E there. And then the third time it's, and we're heading into the next section, right? So we've got A5, open D with your middle finger, and G4 with your third finger. And we're going to go kind of open D and G2, G4. And we're going to slide up to the 5th fret on the D and the G. Bum, 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 bum. bouncing off the low E again. And that's the D and the G, 4D, open D, and then D5 and G4, and then back to that. And then we're going to come up to here, which is the 12th fret D and B, and pinch that, pick on the D, middle finger on the B. Then, down, let that slide down. And that's da 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 down, down. D5, G4 to D4, G2. And slide those down, da, down, down. And all the while, we're kind of doing that bass note. And we ended up with that, just a pull off of a D4. And then we're back into that main lick. And we do that 4 times. The first time on the B. Second time E. Third time E. And then the 4th time, we're going to bring that G note in again. And we're back into and that's exactly the same, except the ending, we don't skip the beat. So instead of going right into the lick, we're going to go. All right, and then we're back into high E there, high E the second time, and then back into this. And this is a little different this time. It's the same to there, but then it changes. That's so good. I love that lick. So we've got that, and then a sort of an up down on the low E. And then we're going to pinch A2, B2, and then hit the open D with our pick, back to the A string, and then we hit that E3, and then do an upstroke on the high strings. Like so. I love these later licks, they're so good. We're coming out of this. So that's just open, 2, 4 of the D. And then we're going to pinch the open G and open E. And then hit the open B. Back to D4. And then open G. And now we've got this fastish sort of lick. It's just a pull off, G2 open, D2 open. And then we go to A3. And then we're going to pinch D string again on the 3rd fret and slide out. And then we're going to kind of do a rhythmic strum. So bum, ba-dum. I just pinch, then I go up on the pick and down on the pick. And then pinch again here on the 2nd fret. Bend on E3, high strings, low E. So that whole bit there. And now we're into the main lick on the E 4 times. And then we're back into this, except this time we're just going to ride on that A string. Like that. And this time we're just going to go 2 E strings there to come out of that. And we're back into this. All exactly the same. Except the ending. Instead of going, you just go. Like I pinch it the first time, pinch it the second time, and just kind of ride on that A string. And then we're into the main lick again, and we do it 5 times to end it. And we ended on that open G variation. And then we hit the low strings. And that is it for this one. Those are all the parts. A very advanced, tricky finger-picking song. And, a lot of kind of weird shapes. Not a lot, but a couple of weird shapes. But a lot of weird timing things that you just sort of, you can't really count through them. You just have to memorize them. That part there, I don't know, for some reason, maybe it's just me, but I struggled a lot with that section. Up to there, just the timing, I was like, what? I didn't quite get it. It took a while to get that, but it finally sort of sunk in. Really fun to play. With with all the open strings. If you can keep your hand away from the fretboard and keep so you're not muting out that E string, and get that E string ringing, it sounds just really full. Like I always say, I hope you get something out of this one. I hope you enjoy playing it, and we'll talk to you next time.